What is your secret that you can't tell anyone because it will probably ruin your life? I just love how all of the stories here are either on September 3rd at 2:37 a.m. I went to a truck stop and murdered someone in the bathroom, or my homemade cookies aren't homemade. I have no idea what I'm doing at work. This is what I think is wild. I went from working in a medium-sized group, wearing multiple hats and getting shit done, to working in a giant corporation where if I draft an email reply then send it at the end of the day, everybody claps for me. And I make way more than I ever would at the job where I was actually doing things. It's just crazy to me. I'm used to it now, but it drove me nuts cause things I could do in a few hours would take other people weeks to complete. And that's the norm. Edit, have a lot of questions about what I do. I'm a business or program analyst in it for my company. No job is perfect. I had to learn a ton of things I never knew before, and of the dozen people hired with me, Therese, only 2 of us left not even 2 years later. I do stuff with databases, Power BI, project management tools, use case testing, and pretty proficient with MS Excel projects. I came from a smaller company where I had to wear multiple hats before, so I'm just extremely proficient at what I do since I can prioritize better in my current position. There is free time in my day-to-day, but it's not quite as simple all the time. I'm just used to doing all my tasks same day, but larger companies stretch out one-day tasks into one-week tasks. I've had a job like this and it rattled the hell out of me. My manager quit about a year after I started, and he had a serious come-to-Jesus talk with me that I was putting in way too much effort and being too proactive. It was leading people to take advantage of me and leaving me frustrated. Basically, if I wanted to survive in that environment, I'd need to stoop to their level. It taught me everything I know about what I like to call corporate tennis. Someone asks you to do something? Volley back with a list of questions. 50% of the time they never respond. If they do, 1 to 2 weeks later, return with some clarifying comments, input requests, etc. You can stall work for literally months by doing this over and over, and it's not from being a smartass or lazy, it's just from forcing people to think about what they're asking, if it has any value, how high priority it is, the logistics of it, etc. Most people give up when they're forced to do a big think and not prattle off every inane thought that crosses their mind and try dump it on you. Ultimately, I decided I wanted a job that was engaging and challenging, but damn, that time taught me a lot. I still use the same tactics on thoughtless clients and it's still just as effective. This is seriously the way I make sure that work does not pile up on my desk. I used to spend hours and hours and hours a week trying to figure out how to fulfill inane, vague, and unrealistic requests from team members. Once I started pushing back even a minimal amount and forcing people to think for themselves, 90% of those tasks just disappeared into the ether because people realized that tasks that involved even a minimal amount of effort on their end just were not worth it for them. People are more than happy to waste your time, but none of their own. I stopped working at work 1 year back. I have no idea what the duck they want from me because I watch 12 hours of shows on my laptop and work for 30 minutes a day by attending a team huddle and staying on mute. 3 to 4 years ago I was responsible for providing a few reports to different teams. Each month I'd generate the reports, formatted in a presentable way for the team managers I was sending them to, and send them over. Nobody ever said anything about them, never a question about the data or even a reply to my email. So 1 month I just decided I wasn't going to send them, and then it turned into 2 months and 3 months. Nobody ever said a word about it, so I just stopped doing it. Got promoted the following year. Honestly, best advice when you start a job like that is to stop sending reports and updates, then see who notices. So many reports are created because one manager didn't know one piece of info once, and got embarrassed. Stop sending, work out what's important, and who needs to be kept happy, then focus your energy on useful tasks. My first year as a teacher, we had these timesheets we had to fill out each week that tracked how much time we had spent on various activities. They were a pain in the ass, but I didn't really think anything of them. We're at the end of the year and they asked us to do a bigger version of them that summarized the whole year. I went to the principal and asked for all my old sheets back so I could fill it out properly. She told me she had no idea where they were. I went back to my room and spent 30 seconds filling in random numbers that were vaguely correct, and never heard anything about it again. My 54-year-old secret would ruin several lives. My childhood best friend's little brother is actually my son, and his children are my grandchildren. Edit, forget DNA. I'm also related. Already donated stem cell. No problem. WTF? Am I reading this correctly? If I could understand the sentence, I would probably also be having this reaction. He ducked his best friend's mom. I am so innocent. I legit read this as the best friend's parents took on the commenter's kid to help them edit to add. So glad I'm not alone in thinking this. Hello all my fellow naive Redditors. I didn't stop doing martial arts because I was annoyed that they took in a kids group and we were expected to help coach them while still paying for our own classes. I stopped because fighting other men made me horny as hell and that was not a context in which I wanted to interact with kids. And then I realized how ducked up it was that I was fighting other guys for my sexual gratification while they just saw it as fighting, period. So fighting on a whole kinda got shameful and disgusting. So I quit. Scariest mother ducker to fight is the one with a boner. We gonna fight or duck? I'll be naked either way, I just need to know. I hid the extent of my alcoholism from everyone since I was 15, am now 35 and 8 weeks sober. No one knows I'm sober now as they've never known I had an alcohol issue. This is me. I'm 27 and 95 days sober. No one in my life knows the extent of the drinking I did prior to getting pregnant in March. I plan to stay sober for my son when he is born and never go back to the place of hiding my alcoholism. Congratulations on 2 months sober. That's huge and incredible. Since no one in your life can tell you this, I will. It couldn't have been easy, but you did it and I'm immensely proud of you. All my passwords are the same word with different combinations of numbers and punctuation marks. You can't trick me into ruining my life. But, imagine the upvotes. There is no corner of my heart I would not lay bare for 5 points. I have a bad back and from time to time it goes into a full spasm. One day I was getting out of bed, and as my foot hit the floor I went into a full spasm. I have no idea how, but a perfectly formed turd fell out the leg of my shorts and landed on the floor. Due to my spasm, I fell and landed right in the poop. The commotion woke up my GF at the time, and she ran over to check on me. I blamed the dog. I've never actually told anyone this before. Oh no. Babe, come here. Someone shit in my pants. When my niece was little, she pooped her pants. My sister said, somebody pooped in their pants to try to talk about it with other adults without shaming the child. My niece excitedly exclaimed, somebody pooped in my pants. When my niece was little, she pooped her pants. We don't know who did. The eyewitness testimony gives inconclusive evidence of a suspect, and the case remains open. We should use the word allegedly when speculating about open cases. At Christmas, my family loves my homemade eggnog. It's just high-end store-bought eggnog and I put in 1 to 2 tiny pieces of eggshell to make it look like they were missed when I strained the eggnog. The ducking eggshell is psychogenius. I love it, ha 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 ha. Just a step above my grandmother filling her crystal decanters with cheap booze from the duty-free, leaving the same goose and other bottles by the bin every time while duping her rich friends into thinking they're drinking the good stuff. Lol. I don't have any, I am incapable of keeping my mouth shut. I have found my people. I was once at a party for my nephew's birthday and really had to go. I noticed they had a basement bathroom, so while cake was being served, I dropped a deuce that could peel paint. I was able to sneak in out without anyone noticing. Fast forward to after the party and my Sil and Bill were complaining about 2 other family members clogging the upstairs bathroom and stinking up the basement. They complained that the smell lasted for days after that and it had to be professionally cleaned. To this day, they blame the other couple to the point that they get angry discussing the topic. TLDR, I'm a mystery pooper. You're a party pooper. I fall asleep every night in horror because my former best friend and I haven't talked in 3 years because for her 21st birthday we both got massively blackout drunk and smoked. I have no idea what happened that night. But she's never answered a message I've sent since. Out of all the things I read so far, which is a lot, this is the only one that got any kind of reaction out of me other than the man with dementia afraid to speak.